Listen to The Most Dangerous Game by Richard Connell, Level B1, Oxford Reading University.
"We are currently passing by the Shiptrap Island," said Whitney to his friend Rainsford. "Interesting name, isn't it? It has a bad reputation among sailors." Rainsford and Whitney were hunters. They hunted large animals like elephants and tigers. They were on their way to Brazil now, where Rainsford was planning to catch some impressive animals. "It's so dark now, I can't see the island," replied Rainsford. "I hope the sky will eventually clear and we'll have a pleasant time hunting. It's the best sport." "I think the animals we kill would not agree," said Whitney. "They fear death just like we do." "Don't be silly," replied Rainsford. "They're simply animals. They don't feel anything. And besides, this is how the world works. There are those who hunt and those who are hunted. Fortunately, we are the hunters." After the conversation, Whitney went to bed and Rainsford went to smoke his pipe on the deck. The night was incredibly silent and totally dark, and Rainsford felt relaxed. Suddenly, he heard a loud sound as if someone fired a gun 3 times. Confused, he hid behind the rail and listened. Rainsford wanted to see what was going on, so he climbed the rail, holding the pipe in his mouth. Suddenly, the pipe hit one of the ropes and fell down. He tried to catch it, but lost balance. The next second, he was under the water. Rainsford tried hard to stay above the surface. He shouted, but it was unlikely that anyone on the ship could hear him. Rainsford made an effort to stay calm. The gun sounds came from the right, he thought. There must be people there, so I need to swim in that direction. Finally, he reached the rocks. He gathered all the strength he had left and climbed to the top. The edges of the rocks were sharp and the climb was painful. Rainsford's hands were covered in blood, but at least he was in relative safety now. He lay down on the sand and soon fell asleep. 2. When Rainsford woke up, he was hungry. He wanted to search for the people who had fired the guns the previous night. He was on the edge of the jungle, and there was no path through the thick forest. Rainsford noticed footprints on the sand and followed them. The night was falling, so he had to hurry. Finally, he saw a building that looked like a palace. Not sure whether it was a dream or reality, Rainsford reached the palace and knocked on the door. A minute passed. Then the door opened. Behind it stood a giant man, the biggest that Rainsford has ever seen. The man had a gun in his hand, and it was pointed at Rainsford's chest. "My name is Sanger Rainsford. I fell off a ship," said Rainsford. "I need help." The man was as still as a statue. Rainsford was not sure if the stranger had heard him at all. Suddenly, there was a sound of footsteps. Another man came down the stairs. "Don't be frightened. Ivan won't hurt you," he said. "He didn't hear you, though, because he's deaf. It's a pleasure to welcome you, Mr. Rainsford. I've read your book." They shook hands. "My name is General Zaroff. We're Russian," the man said with a smile. "But let's talk later. You are hungry and you need dry clothes. Please follow Ivan." Rainsford changed into new clothes and was led to a dining room. Rainsford and Zaroff had typically Russian food and alcoholic drinks for dinner. "I'm really glad to have you here, Mr. Rainsford," said Zaroff. "I have the most suitable animals for you on this island. We will have a great time hunting together." "Have you imported some new species?" asked Rainsford. "My whole life I had one great passion, hunting," said Zaroff. "I escaped Russia after the revolution and traveled the world hunting in many places. But I soon became so experienced, so perfect at it, that it became boring. Animals were too simple. I felt no excitement. And then an idea occurred to me." It was obvious that Zaroff did not want to answer Rainsford's question directly. "I wanted to hunt an animal that was brave and able to reflect on things," he continued. "But there is no such animal," protested Rainsford. "There is one. I am talking about humans," said Zaroff with a smile. "I trick them into coming close to the island with a special system of lights. Their ships sink, and the sailors are left to entertain me." Rainsford was overcome by fear. "This is not hunting. This is murder," he cried. "I won't participate in that." "You are an educated man, but so kind and innocent. I am surprised," said Zaroff. "This world belongs to the strong. If you don't want to hunt, you ought to be hunted." "I want to leave this island right now," said Rainsford. "Oh, but that's not interesting," said Zaroff. "I finally found a competitor who is my intellectual equal. I won't let you go so easily. Ivan will supply you with food, hunting clothes, and a knife. You will have 3 hours to hide, and then I will start hunting. If I don't catch you in 3 days, I will let you go. If I do, I'll feed you to my dogs. See you later, my friend." Laughing merrily, he left the room. Ivan entered and handed Rainsford the supplies. And so the game began. 3. For 2 hours, Rainsford walked through the bushes with no aim, just to get as far ahead of Zaroff as he could. "Breathe deep and stay calm," he said to himself. Then he stopped to think for a while. It was not clever to leave a straight path. Zaroff would find him immediately. So Rainsford decided to confuse him. He left complex patterns of footprints on the ground, like foxes do. Then, tired and scratched up, he climbed a huge tree. A short while later, Rainsford saw General Zaroff. He came near the tree where Rainsford was hiding. Zaroff was concentrating on the ground in front of him, so he was probably not aware of Rainsford's presence. Then he stopped under the tree and looked up. Suddenly, he smiled. He took out a cigarette and blew a ring of smoke into the air. Then he turned around and walked away. At first, Rainsford was glad. It seemed obvious that Zaroff did not see him, or Rainsford would have been dead already. But then, a more horrible thought occurred to him. Why had Zaroff smiled? What had he actually seen? Zaroff probably saw Rainsford. He was playing with the man like a cat plays with a mouse. It was a frightening truth, but Rainsford had to accept it. He forced himself to come down and continued his journey through the forest. He found a tree that was a little bent, took out his knife, and began to work on a trap. Traps like these were usually used to hunt tigers. When he was finished, he hid and waited. Soon, General Zaroff arrived. He was so concentrated on the ground and the grass that he did not see the trap and walked too close to it. The tree began to fall, but the general's reaction was immediate. He managed to jump back, but the damage was done. His shoulder was slightly injured. "Rainsford," he said, "if you can hear me now, you need to know that I admire your intelligence. The tiger trap was a clever idea. Now I will have to go back and clean my wound. But don't think the game is over." When Zaroff left, Rainsford ran on. It was difficult to move forward. He was covered in painful insect bites, and the soil was getting softer as he ran. Suddenly, his foot sank deep into the mud. That was when an idea came to him. The soft ground allowed him to make another trap. He made a hole in the ground, then put some sharp sticks at the bottom of the hole and covered it with grass. If someone fell onto the sharp sticks, they would die. Rainsford hid behind a tree and waited. He knew the general was coming. He heard the sound of footsteps and smelled Zaroff's cigarettes. He could not see what was going on, but he heard the rustling of grass. Then someone cried out in pain. Thinking that it was over, Rainsford jumped out and immediately froze in horror. A man with a flashlight was standing by the hole. "Well done," he said. It was Zaroff. "You've got one of my dogs. Now, let's see how you can manage the whole pack. It's an entertaining game indeed." 4. In the morning, Rainsford woke up from the sound of a whole pack of dogs barking in the distance. He had two options. He could stay where he was, which meant immediate death. He could run, which still meant death, just a bit later. Rainsford stood there for a minute, thinking, and an idea occurred to him. It was wild, but it was more than nothing. Rainsford made his last trap. He tied his hunting knife to a small tree. If someone touched the tree, it would break and the knife would fly into their throat. He finished making the trap and climbed a tree. He heard the dogs bark, then they were suddenly silent. Rainsford looked down. He was disappointed to see Zaroff still alive, but the knife did not prove completely useless. Zaroff had come with Ivan this time, and Ivan fell victim to the trap. Rainsford had no time to lose. He jumped down and ran again. The dogs started barking, and the sound grew closer and closer. Rainsford reached the edge of the forest and saw the sea in front of him. He was on the rocks again, and there was nowhere he could run. Rainsford stood still for a moment. Then he heard the dogs, took a deep breath, and jumped into the sea. When Zaroff reached the edge of the forest, he stopped. For a few minutes, he stood there looking at the sea. Then he turned around and walked to his palace. He was annoyed. First of all, it would be difficult to replace Ivan. Second, the end of the hunt was very disappointing. Rainsford killed himself, and that was not at all interesting. Zaroff decided to read a book for a while, hoping to improve his mood. Then he went up to his bedroom. He entered the room, locked the door, and was ready to get to bed when a man appeared from behind the curtains. "Rainsford," said Zaroff, absolutely amazed. "I have to admit, I wasn't prepared to see you. How did you get there?" "I swam," said Rainsford seriously. "It was faster than running through the jungle." "You are indeed fairly talented," said Zaroff. "You are the champion. You have won the game." "It's not over yet, General Zaroff," said Rainsford. "We have to finish our business." "I see," said Zaroff. "Then let's fight one-on-one. The loser will become the dog's dinner tonight. The winner will sleep in this perfectly soft bed. I am ready." "This is the best bed I have ever slept in," thought Rainsford. As he fell asleep, he heard the dogs barking outside.
You like listening to English audiobooks? Check out Ewa app. There are thousands of English books you can read, listen, and learn new words from. In Ewa, you will find the original bestsellers with built-in dictionaries, famous books adapted to your English level, interactive books with tasks, and much more. Go to appewa.com. Send this video to a friend who is learning English. And now, here's another amazing audiobook for you.